January 19th, 2015, MLK Day, a very important day in history where politicians and rats scatter together to take advantage of this day to stand behind a person, an idea that changed the world to benefit themselves. All over the mainstream media, you will see ceremonies, you will see events with all these corrupted power elite people standing behind this man, his vision, and his sacrifice that he laid forward to help people. But one thing you won't hear on the mainstream media, one thing you won't hear from all the politicians trying to take advantage of today to boost their own political power, to boost their own political influence, is the fact that MLK was not only an enemy of the state, but he was infiltrated, he was sabotaged, he was bugged. He had COINTELPRO psychological warfare put up against him by the forces that be, by the powers that be, by the US government to try to push him to kill himself. MLK lived a not very easy life. And the government knew about that because they were spying with virtually everything that he was doing. They knew that he cheated on his wife. And then they sent letters to his house. They knew he was suicidal, so they sent letters to his house saying how he just needs to kill himself, how there's no hope for him, how he just needs to off himself right now, and it's the right thing to do, and it's right for the movement, because we can't have a leader that cheats on his wife. But not only was he an enemy of the state, not only was the US government pushing him to kill himself, not only was he sabotaged and infiltrated, and any form of activism that he tried to push forward was sabotaged by the US government, by local police departments. Not only was he vilified by the mainstream media, but there's a very important court hearing. In 1999, Memphis, Tennessee, the MLK family decided to put on a trial. And they went to trial in a civil case. And in this civil case, 70 witnesses came forward. They heard all the evidence that was presented to them. They heard the full story of what happened when this great man was assassinated. And they came back all with a verdict 59 minutes later. And they said, along with the judge, a U.S. court in Memphis, Tennessee ruled that the U.S. government murdered, assassinated MLK. I don't know if you got this. Let me say this again. A U.S. court in 1999 ruled that the U.S. government was complicit in the conspiracy to murder MLK. The MLK family, Coretta Scott King, his wife, said, after this tremendous, extremely important court hearing, we have done what we can to reveal the truth. And now we urge you as members of the media, and we call upon elected officials, the other persons of influence, to do what they can to share the revelations of this case to the widest possible audience. This is what Coretta Scott King said on December 9th, 1999, when the decision was ruled that the U.S. government murdered Martin Luther King. And of course, Coretta Scott King called for the media to put attention on this, and of course you will not hear about this anywhere. So share this video on this tremendous day so we remember this man for not only the sacrifices, not only the amazing life he lived, but the true absurdity, the true power, the true forces that were against him, making sure that he was not successful. Make sure people understand the U.S. government and the powers that be, the establishment, the media, they were all against this man. And now we celebrate him. Celebrate him in a correct historical fashion, where we remember him for what he really had to go up against. And that was the U.S. government. So when you see people like FBI snitches using today to bolster their influence, their power, to stand on this man's great accomplishments, make sure you know that this FBI snitch was snitching for the same government institution that was pushing for this man's death. You could only pay true respects when you know the truth. And that's what I'm hoping to accomplish here today. Now, it's very important. The case is very confusing when you look at the conspiracy that is the death of MLK. But even many historians say that James Earl Ray, the supposed assassin of MLK, even historians say there's no way he acted alone. Not only was he a horrible shooter, but he was an inept criminal. The MLK family met with James Earl Ray. James Earl Ray even said he was innocent, said that he was forced to give a confession, forced to give a guilty plea, or else he would have been murdered, or else he would have got the death penalty. He points to a mysterious man named Raul, who says was an accomplice, who said was involved, a mysterious figure that of course was not caught. Jesse Jackson even pointed to the fact right after the assassination that there were so many police officers everywhere that this is not possible. He even pointed the fingers at the U.S. government right after the death of MLK, said that they were surely responsible for their death. MLK was not only spied on by the FBI, but he was also spied on by the CIA and military intelligence. The FBI knowingly knew what he was going through. When MLK was in jail, they sent letters and called Coretta Scott King, playing audio tapes of MLK talking to a mistress, talking to another woman that he was with. They tried to break up his relationship. They knew he was dealing with depression. They knew what he was going up against was taking the best out of him, pushing him to the brink of suicide. And knowing this, they sent letters saying that he should kill himself, as an anonymous letter from a supposed supporter, pushing him to the brink of suicide. And these letters were just recently declassified. So on this very important day, where we celebrate a man standing up against the government, don't let the government take advantage of this day as their day. It is a day of rebellion, a day where one man stood up against the powers that be, against the status quo, against the norm, and made a difference and changed the world. And it was only because of him, one man, one soul, one human being, are we able to truly live the life that we're living right now. It shows you that one man can make a difference. And of course, this is a story that you will not hear anywhere else. This is a story that they don't want you to hear. So share this video with all your friends and family members on this very important day, and remember it truthfully and not for the illusion that we were given that it actually is.